everybody, Jamie here, Enigmatic Nomadics in beautiful Oregon, just enjoying a wonderful spring day with Sara here. If we go back a few videos ago, I had mentioned that I'd come up here to meet up with Ingrid, Sara, and my daughter, and we met Ingrid and my daughter. Her visit was way too short. Now I present to you Sara. Her and I met at an RTR about a year and a half ago, and have managed to stay in touch, and we're going to work on a few projects over the summer that we've been talking about. But before we do that, I want you to meet her. Of course you're going to want to know who is Sara and a little bit about her story, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So with that, hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Great.
Who are you?
I'm Sara. Where do you go?
So we met at the RTR,
right?
And it was a gathering of people that live in their vehicles. It could be a van or a box truck or a Class A, doesn't really matter. It's just people that live in their vehicles, and they've chosen a traveling lifestyle. If this is the first time you've really watched a video like this, there's a kind of a group of folks that are growing all the time that have chosen lifestyle over luxury, or experiences over things. And we just travel around and meet up occasionally, and that's how we met. Sara started when we first met in a Toyota Prius. I think she was kind of feeling the waters to see if it was for her, and now she has a amazing Class B extended, which we're going to get a tour of. What happened? How did you go from living in a city to wanting to try it in your Prius, and then deciding that it was going to be this Class B?
Well, I was running a pet sitting business for about 10 years, and I decided that stuck me to the city far too often, and I wasn't really able to get away. So I shut down my business and decided to drive cross country in my Prius. And when I was in Vermont, I made a friend who lived in a van. And in my mind, I always wanted to build a tiny house, but I didn't have the space to do it. I didn't really know how to build a house. So when I made this friend in Vermont who lived in his van, I was like, wait a minute, I can make this whole tiny living dream a reality much quicker than I thought by going the van route. So from that then till maybe took me a little less than a year, but I was searching for the right rig for me, and I left across my Dodge Islander Supreme, and never looked back. It's been the best thing ever. It's been a little over a year since I've had the van, and I'm very, very happy with it.
Where all have you been?
Oh goodness. Where haven't I been is a little bit shorter of a list.
So all over North America?
All over North America. I haven't gone to Canada in the rig yet, but I'd like to. But yeah, so pretty much I'm maybe missing 3 or 4 states. Not including obviously the one I can't drive to, but yeah, I've been pretty much everywhere.
You've driven all across the United States. You've done it for a year now. You love it. What do you like about it?
I like the freedom to come and go as I please and have my house with me. I don't have to pack ever. I like that I'm able to see parts of the country that I wouldn't necessarily buy a plane ticket to. I just happen to be driving through some small town in some random state that I never really was drawn to in the first place, but it's on my way somewhere I was drawn to, and suddenly I found a town that I'm like, man, I want to come back here. I want to do this some more, and I want to keep finding the nooks and crannies of places that you wouldn't talk about in a regular old conversation unless you'd been there, and you wouldn't plan to go there because you'd never heard about it, because nobody you know has.
What about your friends? Didn't you want to not leave your friends where you live back home, and now you're striking out on your own? Don't you worry about being by yourself?
I don't worry about being by myself. My friends are my friends, whether I'm there or here. I've had a couple friends meet me different places across the country, and we'll travel around for a little bit together. I've been making tons of friends on the road. I'm not afraid to be alone. I'm not afraid to spend time with myself and my dog. So it's nice to have me time, but I also, whenever I go back home, they're there. We'll hang out, we'll make time for each other, but everybody's busy. We're all adults. People got hardcore jobs, they have families. It almost seems like we spend more time together when I just pop in and out than we did when I was in town all the time, because we had to make time for each other or else we wouldn't see each other at all. Whereas it's always constantly, oh, maybe next week, this week won't work. Well, it has to work because I'm leaving. So it either does or it doesn't. So I feel like I've gotten a lot closer with a number of my friends by leaving and coming back occasionally.
Folks watching this might ask themselves, they might look at you and ask themselves, sure, I'd like to pack it all in and move into a van and travel around, but I have responsibilities at home. I have a, rent, mortgage, house payment, car payment. I got to pay off my Best Buy card to get my MacBook out of jail, whatever. Like all that stuff. What would you say to those people?
They're just excuses. I feel like the biggest push in van life is everybody's like, go do, what is it? Work on your computer. I don't know what they call it because I don't like computers.
Digital nomad. Digital
nomads. Do something and with
work from home
kind of stuff, and that works for people, but that's not what I do. So far I've just decided where I wanted to be for an extended period of time, or even just drove through a place that I liked it, looked on Craigslist at gigs, saw if anything was coming up in the near future, worked the job, and then moved on. If I decided I wanted to be somewhere for longer than just a week or two, then I'd look for maybe a waitressing job or a sales job. It's like I don't need a fancy gig that's going to give me a whole bunch of money because I don't have a mortgage and I don't have a credit card to pay off, and I'm pretty much free to come and go as I want, and if I need money I'll find a gig to get it, and then when I'm done, move on and keep traveling. It doesn't have to be some intense, I don't have internet. I mean, I have the internet that my phone provides me, but I don't even have a laptop. I don't have any way of really doing the digital nomad type work. And I guess it just depends on how you want to live and the kind of things you want to spend your money on. If you like to spend a lot of money, then yeah, you're gonna probably have to work harder to make that money to spend it, but I'm pretty minimal. Most of my money is spent on food and fixing whatever the dog breaks, so it's pretty low key in terms of what I need. So small jobs here and there work out really well for me, and if I am in a place long enough, I end up saving money, and that allows me to go for a lot longer not picking up a job if I don't want to. For me, it's really flexible, and it works out really well.
How do you see this going for yourself moving forward? You're a year in. Have you given any consideration to where you might want to be in a year, 3 years? Do you want to travel abroad, punch some stamps onto your passport? What is in your future, as far as you know, as far as you'd like to maybe know?
Having 3 dogs, I want to stay traveling in a way that they can all come with me. So it'll be on this continent for the time being, and at least 2 out of 3 of them have a good 5 years left in them, so I'm not really planning on going to different countries at any time soon, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing. This is actually going on 2 years that I've actually been cross country. I've only been in my van for a year, but I did a lot of driving in the first 2 years. I did cross country 3 times in 1 year, and I did it again the next year. And I think right now, with all that driving, I kind of want to just stay, not put one place, but stay on one side of the country. Maybe keep it to 3 or 4 states instead of 40 states. So I guess it just depends on how I feel after I've taken that travel crazy break and just kind of laid low for a bit. And if I get the bug where I'm like, I really got to see the East Coast again, then I'll probably book it to the East Coast again. I've got a lot of family over there that part of me is like, just go. Just go. I know you want to stay on the West Coast, but just go anyway. It doesn't have to be for a long time. But yeah, I don't make plans that far ahead because things change so frequently that it's just easier to make strong suggestions to myself of what would make me happy. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll go, it was just a suggestion.
Right.
It's fine.
Sounds fair enough. Some folks might be wondering, single person traveling in a van, how did you manage to have 3 dogs? How did that work?
Oh, well, like I said earlier, I was a pet sitter for 10 years. I'm also a, how do you say it without making me sound like a crazy dog lady? I love adopting senior dogs. It is something that is very close to my heart. I've probably lost about 9 in the past 7 years just because I like them old, and I get hospice dogs. I'm addicted to hospice dogs. So Pip, this is Pip, he's 12. I got him almost 5 years ago, and he was the last dog that I adopted from a shelter, and I got him because my dachshund had passed away, and I'd never been without a dog, and I was like, oh God, I have to grab another senior out of the shelter. And Chloe, she's 8. You can see the top of her head right now, but she was my mom's dog, but so was Hunter. Chloe and Hunter were both my mom's dogs, but she has a Rottweiler who, after one of her other Rottweilers passed away, started getting more aggressive towards the other dogs. And so just to make sure they were family dogs, make sure they didn't go into the shelter, I took them. They're like my brothers, now they're my babies, so what are you gonna do? But, so yeah, I ended up with 3 dogs, and it may seem like a lot, but I've always had upwards 5+ dogs that were my own, and then other people's dogs added to that. So I'm used to crowds of 12. And so 3 is nothing. 3 is like, wait, we could fit another one in here. So yeah, I have a soft spot in my heart for rescue dogs of the elderly persuasion.
Speaking of a soft spot in your heart for animals, I also know from being around you that you're vegan. Is there a connection?
No. It's easier to be vegan after having realized what happens to animals in the large processing plants of animal products. But it started out just, it was easier to be vegetarian, so I went vegetarian for a while, and then I just made the leap and went vegan, and it feels good for me. For my personal self, I feel better now than I ever did eating meat, and even better now that I've cut out dairy. It helps that I love animals. It's definitely a push, but that wasn't what started it all.
Anything else that we should know about you as we start to get to know you better here?
What to know about me?
What do you like to do for fun?
Well, we've been going to karaoke lately. That's pretty rad. I've been enjoying that. Don't have any high expectations, but we'll have a good time. That's the line right there. I like hanging out with people on a more intimate level, having conversations, getting to know people. Occasionally I'll do the bigger crowd, maybe go dancing. Music's too loud to actually know anybody, but as I've been getting older, it just doesn't interest me as much as it used to. I have been teaching myself to be a fancier knitter. It's not going great, but I went from just making long scarf, which is basically a line of knitting, to I'm starting to knit hats, and eventually I'd like to knit, who knows, sweaters or something along those lines. But I'm a simple person. I'll do fun stuff here and there, but if it's free or cheap or real close by, then I'm game.
Sounds good. Now you mentioned that you're not really into computers, you're not really into digital, being a digital nomad or things like that, but are we gonna see you piece together what you need to start a little bit of a YouTube channel? I know that you can tell me when, but it seemed like just like a couple months ago you had Cruisin Jr on Instagram. Like, it just seems like it's just a couple months old, and now it seems like about every couple days I get a notification and you're doing videos and posting them to Instagram. So you're just like right there. The jump is just like right there. That's not even any, you have 1 foot in each right now.
Okay, so I won't deny it. As embarrassing as it is, I jumped on that Snapchat train for a while, and it was mostly just me doing stupid things that I thought was hilarious and that my friends could watch and tell me how dumb I was, and then I think that was hilarious. So it's more for me than anything else. And when Instagram started saying, okay, we're gonna do the Snapchat thing and do 24-hour videos, I'm like, all right, well then I can delete Snapchat and only have one app on my phone. So I went over and started doing the dumb stuff on Instagram stories, and I'm also really obsessed with my dog, so you'll get a lot of pictures of my dogs doing the same shit they were doing yesterday or last week, but I just think they're so damn cute that I'm like, look everyone, look how cute my dogs are. So to that extent, yes, I am posting things on the internet. I've been fighting it. A lot of people are like, start a YouTube channel, it'll be great. And I'm just like, I don't know. What am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? I don't know. Maybe I do have a voice, something to say, something to do. It's in the figure that out process. I can't promise you that I will have great content on a regular basis, at least not anytime soon, but my creative juices are flowing a bit more, and I am humoring the idea, as it were.
Cruisin_Jr JR, not spelled out, on Instagram and on YouTube. Mind giving us a tour of your rig?
Not at all.
Let's take a look. You don't have to put that on. You don't have to put that on. That was good. That was fine. See, that was good. Oh.
Coca-Cola, that is. Are you recording me?
What are you doing right now? What are you doing tonight? It's sideways because there's a tripod.
What am I doing tonight?
Yeah.
I have a friend in this little town in Oregon who organizes small, intimate musical experiences.
Hang on, let me take it off the tripod so I don't have to do this.
And question my dog again. I'm chewing.
Yeah, go ahead. Show your teeth. Show the food.
He's wonderful, and he gets these great acts, and there are a couple wonderful people in town who have opened up their homes to a small group of people to come and enjoy the musical wonderfulness that is just different artists from across the country. I think tonight, I think all the artists are from Portland, so they're not from too far away, but sounds like there's going to be a show later with somebody from Canada.
All right.
And so, yeah, it'll be good. You may not know me, but in this van, I'm a pretty big deal. Anyway, welcome to my Class B Islander Supreme. Should I say Dodge? Dodge. Welcome to my Dodge Islander Supreme 1994. Hi, welcome to my van. It's a 1994 Dodge Islander Supreme. And I went with this rig because I wanted a vehicle that was ready to live in, because I wanted to move in and head out immediately. And fortunately, I was able to find it. This is not your everyday rig. They're actually pretty rare. I have not seen another one since. And since finding this one, and I'm pretty glad that I bit the bullet and got this one. It comes stock with everything you'd expect in an RV. I've got the kitchen, 4-burner stove. I have an oven, which isn't always usual, but it's pretty awesome. Decent sized fridge on this side. The cool thing about this setup is the shower's in the back instead of right in the middle of the rig. And I've got a toilet and a sink and my closet in there. And it all works really well. It's got a heater and a fan. It doesn't have a massive amount of storage, but I managed to whittle down my belongings enough to fit most of what I need behind closed doors. As you might be able to see, I've got kind of a bit of a pile situation happening in the front there. This is a future project, hopefully in the near, but I took out the front passenger seat to make room for a crate for Chloe, because she doesn't always travel that well, but we recently found out that she doesn't travel in crates very well either, and actually is safer outside of one. So now I would really like to build a storage box in that space to finally get all that extra stuff that hasn't quite found a home yet a home, and then that way I can actually walk into my house every day and it look really nice, instead of it looking really nice for about a day or two until I need something and then it's a mess again. I guess you also noticed that my seats aren't all put together as they should be. Again, Chloe, love her to death, but I have to make a lot of adjustments to make her comfortable and keep my seats from needing replacement every couple of weeks. So another big thing, I guess, from what I hear, most B classes don't have the bed upstairs. I have the above cab bed, which is fantastic. I also have a little bit of a sunroof thing going here that is amazing on the warm nights, where I can have the breeze coming through and wake up to the sunlight. It's my happy place. This is where my nap magic happens. hilarious. It came with a TV. I ripped that junk out because I needed more storage. I am a storage fiend, and I'm also terrified of poking holes in things, so I like to utilize the space that I have in any way that I can without getting too crazy. Maybe after a while I'll just say, screw it. I've been in this thing long enough, it needs a couple holes in it. But for now, I'm trying to keep her, I guess it's a him. I don't know, it doesn't have a sex, it's a vehicle. Why are we always calling our vehicles by sexes? That's weird. What else?
Besides it being stock, you've got solar upfitted onto it. How many watts of solar? How many amp hours of batteries?
Yes, I have solar on the roof, 300 watts. And I have 250 amp hour batteries under my seat over here. Look at that, nice. My friend Ron gave that to me. The Renogy system, whatever it came with, was not working out. So my good friend Ron, who I met at the RTR back in January, it is now June. Can you believe it? I can't. Time is flying. I must be old. Yeah, he gave that to me as if just being nice. Man, living in a van, you meet a lot of nice people. Sure, there's jerks out there, but a majority of them are rad, nice, helpful, caring people. And so, if you want to live this lifestyle, I hope you are also a rad, caring human being, because we're going to take care of you. You ought to help us a little too. Give and take. This isn't all take, it's a give and take. Baby. Nothing. Should I have bangs? Is this good?
Oh, sweet.
How's my hair?
It's way better. I just did some things with the lens too. It's way better.
Okay. Thank you for joining me on my mini tour of the Islander Supreme I Call Jr. If you would like to see more of me, you can go to my YouTube channel at cruisin.jr.88 or head on over to Instagram, cruisin_jr. See you there.
Do we look normal to you?
We look like we are trying to do a drug deal. So we're gonna pretend like we don't know each other.